Thank you so much for making time to talk to KUTV. First of all, take us through what is happening right here. I understand this is the jumping team, so you'll give us some insight about when was this team formed until where we are today, even as we forge a very fruitful conversation with you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, my name is Lydia Aswali, and I'm currently the president of Kenya Jambo Federation. Yeah, jump rope sport in Kenya started way back in 2010, and it was introduced by an American world champion who went to Tanzania, introduced the sport, and then he came to Kenya and his quest was he was looking for a way for the sport to be competed in East Africa. So that was in 2010. So by 2011 we were able to represent Kenya at the World Championship in US. Then 2013 again we took a bigger number again in Florida, US, and we were position 3 after US and France. 2015 again we were able to represent Kenya in US again, and we won 42 medals. Yeah, 2017 we went to Norway, where again we were position 3 out of after US and France. And then that was our last World Championship in 2017. And then 2028 we couldn't make it. 2018 we couldn't make it. 2019 we tried, we couldn't make it. 2020 we were supposed to go, but we didn't make it again because of Corona. So we did it virtually, and we became position 3. And then 2021 and 2022 to 2023, we missed all the World Championship due to financial support. And 2024, we were the only African country to be invited to the Olympics in France. Unfortunately, we didn't make it. 2025, we are aiming the World Championship in Japan. I hope this time round it's gonna work.
Okay.
Thank you.
And before we talk about the World Championship and the upcoming events,
Yeah.
first of all, one will be curious to know about your journey. Why are you so passionate about this jumping rope?
Yeah.
So what is the story behind it? When did you officially began this journey of venturing into this for many it's a very new sport?
Yes.
So when did the passion began for you?
Yeah, thank you so much. So, well, it's a bit long story, but to cut it short, so I'm a former, so many people know me as a soccer player, and they have seen me in so many fields. I'm a former, the best player every year when I was in Butere Girls, and after that I was able to play Kenya Premier League. I was able to one day go to the camp of national team, but I didn't make it with the team. And then at some point I started feeling gaps. Like I felt like there is so much gap in me that soccer or anything, like nothing was fulfilling the gaps in me. And I had to pause. And of course with women's soccer years back, we had so many challenges going on. And so you had to be very careful of like, do you continue doing it or you have to venture into something else? So at first I ventured into coaching, soccer coach. So I coach. I'm a member of the Soccer Africa Academy in Athi River, the founding members. I'm part of that. But again, I still felt so much gaps in me and void. And I was like, then I need to listen deeper. So for me, it was more of like finding my own and also just my identity, because I realized at some point that I had developed a false identity, like being the Luis, Messi, like Ronaldo, and outside the field of sport, I'm a nobody. So I wanted a real identity, and I was like, let me try this God. Like I have never been serious with the guy. So I'm like, God, do you have something for me? Like, is there something that I can use to actually bring hope in my community? So yeah, I can say for me, he spoke. And then like during 2020, that was the year. That was the jackpot year for me. So I'm online and I'm searching like, God, please show me something that I can use to bring hope in my community, to safeguard the kids in my community, because the community I come from, Gidurai, don't have spaces, like sports spaces, and we have almost million kids. So I'm like, these kids, like in 2050, I can visualize, and I'm like, what kind of individual are these? People who are not playing in school, they don't have PEs, they don't have spaces to play, and also like social skills and their mental health. So I was like, I'm looking into something that can really bring hope and enhance a whole person. And then, yeah, so I learned about jump rope online. So in YouTube, I come across jump rope, and I'm like, I want this thing, but it looks scary actually. And then like, with every day following it and passion to just learn, like, who is doing this and where is it? Where was it started? Then I came across the national team of Kenya that was in existence, but at that time they were not a registered federation. They were operating as an association. Yes, so I joined them, started training, and a year after year I had like 200, 300 kids like coming, and we are jumping, and I'm like, then this thing, I have to uplift it to some level. I don't want people to just jump and go home. Like, what is in this thing? So I was so curious. And also just coming out of sporting environment, I know the importance of sports. Like, even if you don't make it as a professional player, there are so many important nuggets that sports bring into someone's life, like social skills, like traveling, like knowing yourself, knowing how to handle and work with people. So those are some of the things I was like, if they don't end up being anybody's like professional athletes, at least I want to mold them into productive individuals. So that is how the journey was started along with me. And then I learned that this sport is huge on the other side. Actually, it's only Africa where the sport is still very the sport has very minimal attention in Africa. But the other continent, the sport is huge. So when I'm looking at those continents, I'm like, people have already laid a foundation for us, African and Kenya. Like, for me, it's Kenya and then Africa. So I'm like, then if people have laid that, we need to be there and maybe climb higher. So now I started training the kids like professionally. And as we speak, the kids I've trained for the last 4 years, 10 of them are in the national team under 15. Yeah.
Right. And how many categories do we have in this team? Because I can see it's a blended version. We have young kids as low as under 15.
Yes.
Then we have the senior squad. I can see majority who are over 18.
Yes.
So how many categories do we have, and what criteria do you use to select the team?
Oh, nice. Thank you. So, yeah, for us, I think the youngest kid I've ever coached was 4 years. So we start from any age, like any age that a kid can take a rope and jump. So 4 years, 5 years, others start at 6, and I started when I was 27. So it's not like we have an age limit for starting or for stopping. But right now in Kenya we have age group U8, under 8, that is. We have under 10, then we have under 13, under 15, and then under 18, and then we have 19 to 20, that's the elite, and then the masters start from 30 plus. Yes, but at the World Championship or international championships, we normally have U9, U15, and then U19, and then U18, sorry, then 19 plus, so 19 to 29 category, and then 30 plus. Yes.
Okay. So take us through some of the rules. Is it, girls separate, boys separate, or is it a mixed version of it? Because this is to many, just like I say, this is a very new sport to many.
Yeah.
What we used to see is just a normal game that you can just do physical exercise and enjoy yourself.
Yes.
But today, for men who are watching us right now, will be learning for the first time that this is actually a competitive sport.
Yes.
So how do you go about it in terms of the level of selection that you have just mentioned, then the one and twos about the games in terms of rules.
Okay.
How do you compete actually in this jumping rope?
Yeah. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, a lot of people actually know skipping rope activity. Like if you ask how many people have ever jumped, it's almost the entire room. But when you ask how many people know that jump rope is a sport, it's almost none. So like our activity is familiar, but the sport part of remain unfamiliar. And thank you for that question, because I normally like it, because I want to address how this is a sport. So jump rope has no age limit, one. Two, jump rope has it's an inclusive sport whereby both boys and girls compete on the same stage. Like World Championship, it's combined boys and girls. You can as well make a team of a relay team with mixed, so it's allowed. If you can take girls relay, for example, take boys relay, and then take a mixed team where like you mix boys and girls to make one team. We compete on the same stage, so we don't, like boys don't compete on their own stage and then girls on their own stage. It's on the same platform. So that's one. The rule of the game, we have so many rules. They apply actually better when someone is doing it, but I'll try to explain. So one, this is an indoor sport according to the world standard. But because we don't have indoor spaces in Africa or in Kenya, we decided to jump anywhere. So this is an indoor sport. It's classified as an indoor sport. Two, maybe I'll let you know that in jump rope we have three elements. The fitness element, the one we were doing. And then we have the entertainment element that we did in the conference room. And then we have the sport element. So maybe a little bit of the sport element. So in sport element, we have different discipline in jump rope. For example, we have individual sport and team sport. One of the individual sport is called single rope speed sprint. So the shortest, or maybe the most competitive part of that is 1 by 30 seconds. So one person has 30 seconds to jump with the feet alternating one after the other. Not like two, but one foot after the other. So you go, like it's like sprinting on the spot. So you have 30 seconds to go as many as you can. And then you stop at 30 seconds, and then the judges will tell you how many scores you have. But at the international level, actually, you have the sensor flow, whereby when you tap, it is reflecting on the screen, so that people who are watching, the layman, can actually cheer you, because they are seeing your scores counting on the wall. So that is one event. The same event, we have relay for the same event. So 4 by 30 seconds. 4 by 30 seconds. It's like athletics now, the athletics version. So 4 people on the same line, you have agreed who is starting first, second, and third, and fourth. So each of them is going for 30 seconds. And then at the end, they tally the total, and then they will know which team is leading. You can either, depending on the number of teams, you go for preliminaries, then quarters, semis, and then finals. So that is just one example of how we do that. And then we have the longest one goes for 180 seconds. That is 3 minutes. Yes. So we have 3 minutes sprint on the spot with the rope. And then the last 2. So we have double unders. So you see, you jump a little bit higher, then you turn the rope twice before you land consecutively for 30 seconds. That's an event on its own. It's in a relay form. Then the last one, the best one I love, it's the triple unders. So you have the stage, you have your rope, you turn the rope 3 times before you land consecutively. That one is the last man standing. So when you drop off, they just count for you. And then that is the end, yeah.